These days, it seems like there are a lot of reviewers out there. There's a few dominant reviewers, like you've got Bardwell, you've got Bruce Simpson, you've got guys like Kebab. Jon takes a very different approach to reviewing gear than they do. As a matter of fact, he has a background in film, and he tries to take it to the next level by incorporating fun things that keep him entertained. Stay tuned and see how he actually reviews gear in a unique manner. Before we go, I'd like to thank my patrons. My patrons, like I've always said, are a huge support to me. I really appreciate them. I like chatting with them and talking with them. And if you've ever been interested in having a podcast version of these episodes, then you just need to check out the link below for my Patreon. That's one of the perks at one of the tiers. I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Let's talk YouTube specifically for a minute. So how long did it, so there's these magic, in case folks that aren't deep into the YouTube world, there's two magic numbers, right? So there's 1,000 subs and there's 4,000 watch hours. Okay.
Right.
And if you make 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours in a year, then you can monetize. It's like, oh my God. So how long did it take you from when you started making videos to when you hit 1,000 subs?
It took me about 17 months.
Okay.
So, and I reached the hours mark way earlier than that.
Okay.
So I guess people were actually watching.
Mm-hmm.
I think I reached the hours mark when I was somewhere around 600 subs. So then I had to wait like another 4 or 5 months before I had the number of subs required.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's totally exciting. That's the goal. And in my mind, I thought, okay, I hit 1,000 subs and it's going to go from, I'm getting like 100 subs a month. As soon as I hit that, it's going to fly up to like 300 or 500 subs a month.
Right.
And it didn't really change at all. And it's so at that level, it's like you're making like $1 a day if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not life changing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun, and I would always compare myself to different folks. Somewhere along the way, I noted that Zorro, would started like the same month as I did, which was like January 2018 or somewhere right about there. And so I'd always compare myself with him. Of course, he hung out with the Road Ride guys and stuff. And he makes really cool content and is like an awesome artist in addition to being an FPV pilot.
Right.
But I was like, dang, Zorro's killing it. And I'm just like, so I'm just floundering over here. Like, what the heck?
Right. I had, for me, I was at like, I just had this explosive growth all of a sudden. I think you saw it. I had the Capper interview, and I put on like 1,500 subs in less than a month, and it was a shock. But I didn't have the watch hours, which it happened opposite for me, where I was like, all of a sudden I had boom, this explosive growth, and to this day, if I drop a big name in an interview, then a lot of times I'll put on, like for Capper, for Steel, and for Stinger Swarm. I think each of them ended up contributing around 1,000 plus to the sub count. That's and awesome. It's like, which is just amazing. But then when everything settles out, like you can't interview Steel and Capper and Stinger Swarm every day. Right. Like that's not a weekly thing. Like,
you gotta do Johnny 5 every once in a while.
Which by the way, interviewing that kind of group brings with it its own challenges, right? So I mean, it's not like that. There's a lot of drama there. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with this. I hit the subs first, and then I was like, okay, now I got to get the watch hours, and then it eventually came. But yeah, even like with the number of subs that I have and the number of watch hours that I get, which is pretty significant now compared to what it used to be. And I think I plugged away at it for like 2.5 years before that happened. it's like a good day is $7-8. It's like, okay, well, this is great. But I will say sometimes that money feels like better and more real than what I typically bring home in a paycheck, which is ludicrous. So it's
no, I know exactly what you mean. It's like, oh, I just conjured this money up from nothing.
Right.
Yeah, it does feel like that for sure.
Yeah, so it's really, anyways, it's really an interesting phenomenon. One of the things I noticed, like I've periodically check in with your channel and just watch some reviews and stuff like that, and you've got a really unique style for a reviewer. So, like you were talking about, like a lot of the guys kind of like just take the camera, they point it down, here's the craft mat, they're pointing at things and they're talking. And most everybody is some kind of variation on that. Even, I mean, Bardwell, you see his face. Bruce from, RC Model Reviews, he's exactly that. And then Bob Ruge, you never see his face. You just see his hands in the pool. Right. But your style is in front of a green screen, you film B-roll, you put yourself in front. Like it's actually a really great style. How did you arrive at that?
So that definitely wasn't my original goal. Like I kind of wanted to be like the other guys, but just have a little bit better lighting, a little bit better, like a nice clean white background. And, it was really the people in my local community. Even Ivana was talking about, and some of the other guys were just like, why don't you ever show your ugly face on the camera? Right. He has a way with words. But I was like, I don't really want anybody I know to know that I do this. Right. Like it's kind of nerdy. And I didn't even want anybody in my FPV community to know for a while. Like I didn't tell anybody I was making videos. And now kind of everybody knows, so it's not a big deal. But I figured out, I had that green screen for like a year and I never used it. And I was like, okay, maybe I should learn how to use this. And then once I learned how to use it, I was like, maybe I'll put myself in like every 10th video, just to change it up. And then I just started getting used to it. And I felt like, okay, it can be something different. Like you were saying, maybe it's something different than everybody else does. And sometimes it kind of puts me in like presentation mode, if you will. If you've ever done a lot of presentations, you kind of get on that roll where you're just, and so I'm like, maybe there's some things that I would say a little bit clearer, a little bit better when I'm actually talking about it. And then what I imagined myself doing was doing the close-ups as I play that back. And so it matches, one to one. I try to do that a lot of times, but then if I'm ever cheating, I'll just do some random clips and hope that they sync up close enough. I figured that it's not something that everybody knows how to do or is willing to take the time to do. And since I can generally do that workflow pretty quickly, I was like, I'll keep going with it.
How long does it take you to make a video?
So it's changed pretty recently, but like for the first 150 videos, I would have generally a goal, which was for the majority of my videos. Sometimes I'd have something that was longer, but for the majority of my videos, the goal was to be able to write, set up, shoot, edit, and upload in an hour. Okay. And
that's pretty intense.
So I would, and because I would, I'd have like work from home for my job for 2 days a week. So I'm like, okay, if I can knock out a video in my lunch break, then that's that, and I do it 2 days a week, then that's my whole upload schedule. And then I was like, okay, then I'm spending a lot of time setting up my equipment and putting it back down. So I'm like, all right, maybe I need to just one day record like 5 videos, then the other day edit them. But then like when I start to incorporate some of the green screen and the other editing things, it starts to take a little bit longer. So some of the average time now is probably hour and 20, hour and 30 minutes. And if I'm doing like a really big video where I'm putting lots of different things, it might go up to 2.5 hours. But generally I try to keep it like real nice and tight. And I learned over the things, like I'll try to like put in little clips sometimes, and it's like I gotta remember like that kind of makes me laugh. It might not make everybody laugh. Everybody just kind of wants the info, so it's just like, all right, don't get too carried away. Just
well, the two that stick out to me. So I just watched your Falcor 2 review, and I'm sold. I'm like, I'm ready to go invest in a bunch of Falcor 2s. But like, you had Falcor from the Neverending Story as a clip in the video. I was like, yes, right. And then the time that you did, God, what was the product where you did the Mount Doom in the background?
Oh yeah, the Nazgul.
The Nazgul, yes, that's what it was. Where it's like, and I'm such a Tolkien nerd. I immediately knew what that reference was when I saw it, and I don't know that anybody else did. It's like, why is he standing behind in front of a volcano? But yeah, I appreciate that, and really, honestly, for the production quality that you get, even out of an hour or 2 hours, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, part of those little things is like, I figure not everybody's gonna get it, especially since when I look at my numbers, like my audience is a lot of times on the younger side, and it's like, I think in a video I was editing yesterday, I put in like a Clint Eastwood, the good, bad, and the ugly reference.
Right,
and I'm like, all right, like maybe their parents will get this reference, but like it keeps me interested, and so I'll just do it for that reason, and it doesn't take too long. And it's a way for me to kind of, I really miss, a long time ago, I wanted to take a break between like before I started grad school. So I was like, I'm going to take one creative writing class as like a treat for myself. And I just loved it. So I took like, I don't know, 4 or 5 writing classes. That spun out of control to like 4 or 5 writing classes, a few video production classes, some photography classes. And I miss that time spent on being creative. So that's like my little tie-in back to like, okay. And I used to like review like short films or student films. Yeah. Kind of back then when I was in that space. So
very cool.
It's always good to see somebody take a creative approach to a topic that is maybe a little bit gone over. Jon has definitely done that. I know that a few of the reviews that I've watched from him have definitely made me chuckle, and that really makes the review more engaging and more entertaining. I appreciate that from him. In our next episode, we talk about, I think, what is one of my favorite topics in all of FPV, which is ethics. What are the ethics of reviewing gear? How do things like affiliate links and other things come into play when you are reviewing gear? How do you keep your handlers happy? There's a whole lot that goes into reviewing gear, and there's a lot of ways that you can compromise your ethics. But it's very interesting to talk to all the reviewers that I've talked to and see how they navigate the ethical dilemmas that they can find themselves in. You should see that very soon, and I hope that you'll stick by and watch. Talk to you soon. Bye.